Coming up next, we have another local special guest. We wanted to make sure to add some serious voltage to this show, so we brought one of our favorite local entertainers up. Well, I mean, we're bringing him up now. We haven't done it yet. I'm sure you've seen him around town. He's been ringmastering some really great comedy shows around here recently, and it's going to be. We're very excited to have him up here again. So please get your hands out and make him go electric right now for Orion, everybody.
Thank you very much. Dude, one more time for George Faust. I was very impressed. Nice job, George. My name is Orion Donicht, and I know that I fit a description. And I understand that I'm a big, bald white man with tattoos and resting pissed face and a severe case of no acetol, which I treat daily with suspenders, which helps to complete the look that says I'm a fucking neo-Nazi. But I'm here to tell you, such is not the case. I am not a white supremacist. I am supremely white. My people are Norwegian. I'm half Norwegian. Norwegian, Irish, and German. About a quarter, average about a quarter. So Norwegian, Irish, and German is my heritage, or as we call it, I'm a nig. I'm a nig. Norwegian, Irish, German. We're all over the place. The nigs. Are any of my nigs out there? Shout out to my nigs. All right. I am the adult content of the evening. Some of my jokes, I tried to do all my worst jokes at the beginning. So if there's something you don't like, the next joke is going to be a little bit more palatable, I promise. I met a really nice trans person from Jamaica. Their pronouns were they, them. I talked a friend of mine out of getting an abortion. I told her, it's too late. 140 weeks is way too late. That's a math joke. I'm turning 50 years old this year. Thank you, thank you. It was easy, I didn't die. I never had children because I didn't want the competition. But my friends who are fathers always tell me, all the time, my friends who are fathers, they tell me, it's very hard to beat a happy child because they don't piss you off as much. I thought that one would land better. Darn it. I don't mind being labeled toxically optimistic. I think it's important to have a positive mental attitude in the face of radical upheaval and turmoil. The difference between acceptance and terror can often be found in your own positive attitude. Thank you. There's been an explosion of autism in the children of America. And although this is a big deal, I say we silver line it. I know in Rain Man, everybody wants to be Tom Cruise. But if we get enough Dustin Hoffmans on our team, we could literally raise the national math score average. And we've been behind for so long. Listen, I know your child cannot look adults in the eye, but it can do multiplication to the 5th decimal. I understand your daughter is nonverbal, but she can do long division in her head. I say it's time to put the awesome back around the tiz. It's a crisis-opportunity. In 5 years, every child in America will be 0.3% plastic. But if they break their arm, you can heat up the ends and push them back together. You don't have to be a hippie to smoke pot. It'll turn you into one.
Yeah, baby. Sometimes.
I support the modern fashion trend of everyone just dressing dirtier and dirtier and sluttier all the time. Yoga pants and crop tops were just a step on the chain. Have you seen the latest fashion craze that is sweeping dance floors across America? Literally assless chaps for your titties. Amazing. This is real. I'm not making this up. They are spectacular. And my little man loves them. I had a hotel room to myself, and at night I was watching Animal Planet. And they were talking about the way predators' eyes are positioned in the fronts of their face. And that's how you could tell it was a predator. The eyes were in the front of the face. Prey had their eyes off to the side so they could look around while they were eating, but the predators had their eyes in the fronts of their face. Later on, as I was contemplating my little man, I imagined his one eye right at the end of his face, right at the tip of his face. Single-minded purpose. The ultimate predator. More terrifying to women than a bear in the woods.
Accurate.
Do you recall the online poll of whether or not you'd be safer with a man or a bear in the woods? And most women said bear. Now, there's an online poll of 100 men fighting one gorilla. Most men say the gorilla would win that fight, which tells me, in the battle of the sexes, we have a significant difference in our beliefs in the nature of wildlife. Sorry, that's the best punchline I could come up with. I was like, this premise is so good, but it petered out at the end. You're right, it petered out. Thank you. I love that tying it together. I just didn't know how to put a bow on that. Maybe Jay could help me later. If you wonder what's wrong with me, my wife says I've got ADD. My girlfriends tell me dating in Homer is really weird because 40% of single men are married too. I think dating worldwide has gotten very lopsided thanks to boner pills and condoms and credit cards. Men have assumed their final form as a 6-foot dildo that pays for dinner. Women, what are you even bringing to the table in this equation? Okay, I thought that would land better. Sorry about that. Forget that one. Come on, 6-foot dildo that pays for dinner? Come on. All right. I think Viagra really flipped the script on that Loretta Lynn song. Now it's, Mama, don't you worry none. Daddy's got the pill. Don't worry, ladies. I'm sure they're working on Niagara right now. Just kidding. They've still got some forms to work out with the men. In fact, did you hear? Viagra just came out with a nasal spray for dickheads. I was a Gen X kid. And when I was a Gen X kid growing up, there was a campaign against drugs. The war on drugs was just getting going. It went nowhere. Just say nowhere. It didn't work. Just say no, the war on drugs was a failure. Or it's been a stalemate at least. But part of the reason the war on drugs didn't work is because their propaganda was so bad. Do you remember the commercial with the old hippie and the egg? And he says, all right, I'm going to tell you one more time. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions? And I turn to my bro and go, I got a question. You got any eggs? I'm fucking starving. 15 minutes, we're all eating chicken, cheesy scrambles. And then we're all sober again. And then we got to smoke more bong loads. That's why that shit didn't work. I went to a bluegrass festival in Trapper Creek. I took a sizable handful of magic mushrooms. As I was walking around the woods tripping balls, I felt the urge to pee. I hiked off into the woods and stood under an old spruce. And as I watched the sun rise in the distance, I unzipped my overalls and I let it flow out of me as my whole body seemed to drain away. And I looked down and I realized my shoe was untied. And I bent down to tie my shoe. And I pissed in my face. And as the warm urine hit my lips, I closed my mouth and breathed in sharply through my nose. I filled my sinuses with my own pee. It made me stand up very fast. And I hit my head on a low-hanging branch. It knocked me on my ass. And as I lay on the forest floor, pissing all over my chest, I could not stop laughing. Any questions? That's an anti-drug commercial. Thank y'all, my name's Orion. Thank you, Porcupine Theater. Thank you, Mother Target. Thank you very much. Be generous with your applause. Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
One more time for Orion, everybody. Keep it going for Orion Suspenders, please. Honestly, the much classier constellation, Orion Suspenders. Like, anybody can go out and point out Orion's belt, but it takes a real astronomer to pull off Orion Suspenders. No space people here? What's up? You guys are great. Okay, so